What's going on, everyone? It's Justin here, and today I'm here to talk about my ideal productivity mechanical custom keyboard that I've actually teamed up with Mode to make a limited edition of 50 of them that is in the spec and color that I currently have on my desk setup. So this right here is the Mode Envoy, and I've actually been checking out a lot of different Mode products for quite a few years just as a fan of their products, and being able to go ahead and customize everything on their site has been really fun. And throughout that process and in the last few years, I've learned a lot more about keyboards and mechanical keyboards on the front of gaming, productivity, and also portable keyboards. So we decided to finally partner up and launch a keyboard that is specific to my own specs, and within that are all the different color options, the switch selection, the bass, and the stabilizer. And in this video, I'm going to talk about what went into the decision process of each thing based on my own preference, and also some of the options if you want to either go with the special edition or go on the Mode website and go ahead and customize the Envoy keyboard for yourself, because it is honestly such a fun process, and it is like speccing out a car because every aspect is customizable. I'm also going to be giving away one of my limited edition Mode Envoy keyboards in this video, so just go ahead and make sure you drop a like on this video, leave a comment down below, as well as subscribe to the channel, and make sure you have your Instagram username in the comment section below, because I'll be picking a winner and contact you directly on Instagram in 2 weeks. So beginning in the color, I wanted to go with a gunmetal gray. And even though I've been a huge fan of silver as well as matte black finishes over the years, and I've also really enjoyed some of the retro looking options, I figured that this is like a really good element to add that gives it a bit of a pop on the desk that is a bit white in this scenario, but the gunmetal is just perfectly in the middle. This gunmetal finish was also developed specifically for this collaboration, so it is truly unique and you won't be able to find it in Mode's configurator or purchase separately. The model in layout itself, on the other hand, is the Envoy, and it is a 65% keyboard, which I think is a perfect size because it is not too small and not too large, but you also have your little arrows right here and just enough space throughout where the keyboard doesn't feel too compressed, but it doesn't take up too much of the desk. When it comes to the weight and accent color, I went with the Black Mirror PVD stainless steel just to give it a bit of that shine. I always like to work in a nice bright place, and so when the light hits it during the day, you can just see the reflections bounce off it. And even though they do have a mirror finish, I think this black stealth look goes really well with the gunmetal gray color that is surrounding the keyboard itself. It really does focus on the minimalism, and even though this is like my custom keyboard, there are still so many other color configurations that I absolutely love, as well as accent inserts, and Mode has also done an incredible job with some of their wood inserts and wood additions. The Black Mirror stainless steel is also found on the bottom here, and you can see the silicone pads as well as the grips ensure that it doesn't slide off the desk, and it has a really nice weight to it, being constructed solid out of metal. It really just has no creaks, no crevices, a very seamless design with inserts, and it's also a very well weighted and balanced keyboard. And just to wrap things up, there's a commemorative Justin Say edition numbered out of 50 on the bottom here with the laser engraving. And it's honestly one of my first product collabs, and being a big fan of Mode, it has been really fun to talk with them about my preferences, trying out a lot of their keyboards, and ultimately putting together a combination that I find is my go-to productivity setup for a mechanical keyboard at the 65% size. So now let's talk about what went into each step of the process in designing my own Mode custom keyboard, because beyond the aesthetics, there's the options of the switch type as well as the bass and the stabilizer, and each one has their own specific characteristic as well as stock characteristics that are built into the Mode Envoy model. So beginning on what makes the Envoy unique. It is a 65% keyboard that still has your arrow pads. It is right in the middle when it comes to size, and it also uses a revolutionary lattice mounting system. Beyond that, when it comes to the switches, I went with the Obscura linear switches. It gives you a good amount of bounce that bottoms out as it reaches its max movement, while also being very free-flowing and quick to type on, while giving you very nice fluid movement across the entire keyboard. So I find for someone who types really hard on the keyboard, the Obscura linears have been perfect when it comes to avoiding any accidental presses. There's also the option of the Anthracite silent tactiles, as well as the Tomorrow tactiles, but I would say the Obscura linears are a favorite among gamers and is my preference for productivity. The next most important thing in the feel and the sound is the plate. And in this case, I went with a carbon fiber plate, not because of design reasons, but when it comes to the actual functionality, going with a softer plate might have like a larger thud, whereas with the carbon fiber plate, it is a hard surface and a hard plate that is still very light material, but it gives you more of like that higher pitch click, which I really enjoy. With the amount of movement that the obscure linears give, in addition to it bottoming out on this hard surface, it just has that perfect balance. And I think whenever you're building a keyboard, it is down to the feel, the sound, the accuracy, and how easily you can get used to it. And with that is balance. And so with the obscure linears and this plate, I really did perfect like that maximized productivity with audible feedback feel without being too overly loud. And I feel like that high-pitched sound really does contribute to productivity as well, especially if you're typing all day. You have the option between FR4, palm, aluminum, carbon fiber, or copper. And even though I have had experience with the palm plate, the carbon fiber has been my favorite so far. I just find that the fingers just glide nicely along the keyboard, and with the design of the natural arch that has been built in and no adjustability, even though some people do like to have the option to adjust their keyboard, I find that it does contribute to a very solid feel. And that is what I noticed right out of the box when I initially picked up the Mode keyboards. They have the perfect amount of weight to them, they're nicely milled, and on top of that, this keyboard is just the perfect size for me. When it comes to the stabilizers, you have 3 different options. And essentially what a stabilizer is for larger keys such as the space key, the shift key, for example, you just don't want your large key flopping back and forth, especially when the actual switch is just one element in the middle. So it kind of has like that seesaw effect. But with a stabilizer, it ensures that when you press it down, it has like that consistent feel, and that is what you obviously get out of any high-end keyboard. In this case, my edition comes with the Durox Gold V2 upgraded stabilizers, and you can see that right here, and it just contributes again to a very solid press, especially noticeable on the larger keys where the stabilizer is located. So before we move on and talk about the rest of the Mode keyboard lineup and which model is best for you, I want to give a huge thanks to the sponsor of this video, Hohem, and their iSteady M6 smartphone gimbal. This gimbal right here has every single feature that a smartphone gimbal could have as a creator tool in 2024. So for starters, this right here is a standard 3-axis gimbal. It has all the great features that you find in a gimbal for larger cameras, and it is also very easy to balance with the included tripod stand on the base that you can either keep on or can detach. It features up to a 400-gram payload and is compatible with larger phones and accessories such as filters, microphones, and more. In addition to that, the battery life is also up to 18 hours, and you can also reverse charge your phone by plugging it into this little hidden USB-C port on the bottom. Perhaps the most unique feature here though is the magnetic AI sensor tracking. You'll see this little camera right here, and that is able to allow you to track subjects while you're moving around through an external camera that is right here. You can start the tracking with an OK hand gesture, and the light will turn green to indicate the tracking has started. Similarly, a palm hem gesture will stop the AI tracking and the light indicator will show red. So say somebody is like walking around and you want to be able to have the camera follow them using the gimbal movements, you can do that. Even if you're running around and trying to follow somebody while moving, it will utilize that physical AI camera to keep up with the subject. And I think that alone is an incredible feature. And built into that is also a fill light that you can control the brightness level of using the little dial right here, as well as the color temperature. And this also doubles as a focus dial as well. On the back here, you also have a 0.91-inch display that shows the mode, the battery life, the light settings, as well as all the controls, including the power, mode, adjustment of the angle, and a zoom knob built into the bottom here. It really does take the smartphone gimbal to the next level, and every feature that you could ever need as a creator is built in and found all in this all-in-one iSteady M6. If you guys want to go ahead and check this out for yourself, I'm going to drop a link down below, and a huge thanks to Hohem for sponsoring this video. So in this video, because I talked about the keyboard that I specifically went with, I also wanted to talk about some of the other ones that I've checked out in my experience from the Mode brand. This right here is the Mode Loop TKL, and it is one of their larger keyboards. It is a 10 keyless design, but you have the function keys, and honestly, it is one of the heaviest keyboards that I've picked up. I've seen some very high-end keyboards, and this definitely takes the cake in terms of just reaching that next level of a premium feel. As you lay it down here, you can see this like retro edition is really fun, and it's one that I featured in a couple videos in the past, but this one definitely has more of an audible click to it, and you also have a separate area for some more command keys and your arrow buttons. So for those who might want a bit more of a spread out layout, then this right here is the one for you. And it is really fun to just pick the little accent colors that are on the top, on the accents, in the gap here of the middle, as well as on the bottom. And I mean, this cream color was just really fun to check out, and it's a lot different from what you guys usually see me go with. The next one that I have right here is the smallest keyboard in the lineup, and it is the Mode Tempo. It is a 60% keyboard, and it takes portable to the next level. You don't have any arrows or anything, it is just the keys, and I would say that this is the most portable keyboard in the Mode lineup. It still has a lot of weight to it. It looks amazing, and especially, I mean, in this walnut color here. Honestly, when I was doing my collab for my special edition keyboard, I was going to go with a walnut finish, but I know sometimes I jump between walnut and oak in my designs, and so to be versatile, I didn't end up going with a wood finish, but I love the wood collaborations that Mode has done and the inserts that you can also add to your existing keyboards. And honestly, it is a keyboard that I really like because a lot of times I do work in compact spaces when on the go, and I'm always someone who likes to have an external keyboard and mouse when working. As from a productivity standpoint, I just find that working on my laptop is something that I just didn't really do that often. So yeah, this is like a really fun keyboard to have, and I just love how compact it is, but I will say I still do use the arrow key here and there, and so the 65% option is usually the smallest that I'd go with. One of the first keyboards that I checked out from Mode though was the Sonnet, and it is a 75% keyboard. It is kind of the OG keyboard in the lineup, and it looks a lot like the Envoy, but with the function keys on the top. And I've been really split on function keys. I'm not someone who has any of those function keys programmed, and I don't find myself using them that often, but I do feel like the keyboards without the function key just look a lot better. The newest keyboard in the lineup though is the Mode 65, and I do find that it is a little bit lighter. It has the option of a mirror finish on the bottom, and again, from a design standpoint, it looks absolutely incredible. And they actually designed this one, sent it to me, and I think it looks great with the Tomorrow keys, and it just has a little bit of accent color on the side with the different shadings for your main QWERTY side of the keyboard and your additional buttons, which I actually like it when keyboards have a multicolor design. But just to summarize, this is my collab with Mode Keyboards, and it's where we launched the limited edition of 50 with my specific specs. Not only is it reminiscent of Space Gray, but it also has the dark mirror finish. I tried to keep it as subtle and versatile as possible while being minimal and stealth. And it also features the Obscura linear switches with a carbon fiber plate and the Durox Gold V2 stabilizer with the Obscura lineup of keys as well. And it also has the numbering on the bottom, so there is only one of each model up to 50 editions. And like I mentioned, I'm also giving away one in this video. So if you guys enjoyed it, make sure you go ahead and drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all in the next one.